Can an NFL star save a lunch lady from jail? What is the correct way to wipe? And hemorrhoids, who's got them? Who wants them? All that and more on today's number 2 show. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to yet another installment of your favorite talk show live from a toilet. The number 2 show. I'm your host, Rafe Williams. What's up out there, all you turd cutters, all you glory holers, all you bathroom bandits? I don't know what I'm going to call the fans of this show yet. It's a work in progress. Stay tuned in week to week to find out. Thanks for joining me today. We got a great show for you today. I'm excited to be here. It's a beautiful Tuesday in August, and I got a whole lot to talk about, and I want to get right into it. There's so much to cover. I don't want to wait a single second. Plus, I don't have any seconds to waste because, as you know, our first segment is 15 minutes, whether I like it or not, and that's a segment I like to call 15 Minutes with Riz. Peekaboo, there he is, Mr. Scott Rizzuto, everybody, here for 15 before he makes a hasty exit. His timer has already started. Hey, Riz, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's been a while since we chatted, about 4 seconds, and it's nice to see you again. And guess what? I got a special treat for you today.
Oh, yeah?
For the 15 Minutes with Riz and the entire episode, we are joined by a second special guest. Please, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Carlie Lawrence, everybody.
Oh, my God. First time in the stall, Carlie?
It sure is.
First time
This one.
Good. Well, welcome to the number 2 show. We love you. For those of you that don't know, Carlie Lawrence is a multi-talented actress, voiceover artist, keeps me straight, helps me cut commercials, knows how to use the equipment I don't know how to use around the studio.
You may know her best from the SSM health commercials.
You may know her as ambiguous race mom from the SSM health commercials around St. Louis.
Mom with Mexican kids.
That's me. Not a real mom. I just play one on TV.
That's right. No one would ever give you children, and we thank them for that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Are you comfortable in there?
Yeah, this toilet has a nice groove in the back to rest my back against, and that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I roll out the white carpet for my guests every
do.
time.
So you
we're
roll
on
out
here.
the linoleum because she's
That's right.
There's a linoleum on the ground.
That's true. I do.
A bathroom with carpet's weird.
Oh, I had that.
I did too. I think we all did.
Yeah. Recently. I mean, within the last, 15 years.
I'm sorry.
We rented a house on Doherty Ferry in Big Bend, and the master bathroom had shag carpet, even around the toilet.
That's
so
a mistake.
It was very weird. Even when you get out of the shower, so you get out of the shower and you step onto a shag carpet.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't like that.
I don't like it at all.
I don't even really love. I mean, they feel good, but everyone's grandma for a while had those, those air toilet seats.
Oh.
Padded toilet seat that was like a seafoam pink or something.
I thought that was a luxury.
I loved it, but then I started thinking about all the ass sweat that foam had gathered up over the years, like people doing the worst business you could imagine.
Yeah.
Your grandpa, your grandma, they're in there.
Just wipe it down.
Yeah, but when those things get old, they crack.
Yeah. Once they crack.
What doesn't crack when it gets old, though? Just
Black.
replace it.
That's right. Black. You heard it here first, folks. Black don't crack. This will be the final installation of the number 2 show, brought to you by Hubbard Incorporated. That's right. Hubbard has nothing to do with the opinions or placed on this show. Okay. I'm excited to have you guys here. I appreciate you guys being here, man. This is, Carlie, this is a segment where me and Riz kind of chop it up. We just chat and talk about stuff that's on our mind and go down the glory hole of whatever we have. And then at 15 minutes, he usually storms out without interruption because he's a busy man and he can only be my sidekick.
15 minutes. That's
15 minutes a day. I did get an email that I want to address in our first part of our show. And, Carlie, I'll include you in this because we were talking about this, I think, maybe on a previous episode. And Taylor wrote in an email and said, since your show consists of sitting on the can for quite a while, have you or Riz ever gotten a hemorrhoid? And I think we talked about this briefly the other day. But,
we did actually on the number 1 show.
Yeah, on the Riz show. But let's give it to the YouTube audience, shall we?
Okay. Have I ever popped a hemorrhoid? I think an internal one. I was told when I had a colonoscopy, but not like a painful outer one. Like I didn't even know.
Yeah, it was just living up in there.
Yeah. So when I got a colonoscopy and, you know, they give me the results, they go, all right, this. He goes, yeah, you have a couple internal hemorrhoids. I go, oh, is that bad? He goes, you know, a little more fiber. You know, your diet will do you good.
So you didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
You were just living. You just had you're like, that hemorrhoid was like a little sucker fish on a shark in the ocean. You didn't even know it was on there.
No, I had no idea until I got the colonoscopy.
Well, more important reason to get a colonoscopy. How old were you?
I was in my 30s.
Okay.
Maybe this was 7, 8 years ago. But I feel like my beehole is a ticking time bomb any time now.
Well, they all are.
Why did you get the colonoscopy?
I was having some digestive issues, and they wanted to check out to see what was going on up beside me.
Okay.
All right.
I wound up having what was it? Diverticulosis?
Diverticulitis.
Not litis, but it was like a lesser one.
Oh.
Where they're like, you shouldn't eat popcorn.
You love popcorn.
I love popcorn. My favorite snack food.
And you have not stopped.
No, I said.
So I'm assuming you didn't listen.
No.
All right. Well, we know where your life's headed then.
The
Stop eating
toilet,
popcorn.
obviously.
Next. No thanks.
No, and that's why I'm nervous to take one of these. I know, you know, we're maybe talking about taking one of these allergy tests, like these food allergy tests.
Yes.
And I'm nervous because what if I'm allergic to something I love? What if they say, Riz, you cannot eat pasta anymore? It's part of my identity, Carlie.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Is there anything you're allergic to, Carlie? Anything that we've been talking taking a food allergy test. And to be honest, we don't know if these are legit or if these are scams, but we're going to pay a lot of money to take one as a show. I would kind of like to know. There's times I have stomach issues that I'm like, it could have been the years of problematic drinking. I'm not going to lie about that. But it could also just be that maybe I'm not supposed to eat dairy every second that I'm awake. And I don't want to hear that. I'm a cheese guy. I don't want to hear that about myself. So I'm a little scared too. Have you ever? Are there anything that makes Carlie's tummy sensitive?
I took a food sensitivity test at one time, and it told me I'm sensitive to eggplant and turkey and eggs and all these
it got
things.
specific, like eggplant?
Very specific. And
Okay.
I said, okay, thanks for that information. And I went on with my life and continued to eat all of these things because it did include things like cheese and. Yeah,
You
I'm
were
not
sensitive
dead
to those things?
Yeah, I'm not dead.
No, does it
You
tell
have
you
a lot
like
of diarrhea, though.
I always have diarrhea,
Yeah,
like daily,
Me
like
too.
all the time.
That's not good.
I am diarrhea.
That's not good.
It is what it is. So
Yeah, and it's diarrhea, and we don't need that.
If it's diarrhea all the time, it's not diarrhea, it's just poop. That's what I say. It's just the way your body is.
it just comes out how it wants to come out every day, and
Right.
it's just a surprise. So that's on that. What about Rafe? What are your allergies?
Well, I don't know about. I mean, I'm allergic to everything.
All right.
Maybe not food wise, but I have terrible upper respiratory issues. It is the bane of my existence.
Oh my. Okay, yeah. All of those allergies too. Like I'm allergic to like.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sniffing and snorting constantly. Okay.
Mold, pollen.
Yeah.
I got a deviated
Yeah.
septum. What do you need?
Yep.
I got it. Okay, your cat maybe. I don't know. Not animals all the time, but if you got bad pet dander, I'll go ballistic in your home. And I'm a big sneezer. I'm not a dainty sneezer. I'm coming snuffleupagus style at you. It's alarming. It's the kind that Sammy Sosa threw his back out sneezing. That's the kind I have.
Yeah, you're gonna huff and puff and blow that house down. I get it.
Now, what I will ask for both of you is, and if you're out there listening, you're in now, have you taken a food sensitivity test? Was it bullshit? Did it help you?
I'd love to know.
I'd love to know too, because it's like $400 or $500.
I know I am allergic to one thing. Not food wise, but I am allergic to cats.
All cats?
And
Hairless?
no, whatever. I mean whatever cat dander.
Oh,
Did I ever tell you the story
it's like their aura.
about my job interview here? And I was
tell it again because it is very funny.
I flown out here. I stayed at my buddy Woody's house, and Woody's like, "Yeah, man, grab the futon in the guest room." Okay, so I grabbed the futon and I fell asleep, and I woke up the next morning, and my eyes were sealed shut. And I go, "Dude, what's going on here? Is there a cat in here?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, the cat sleeps on the futon too." I
didn't even know there was a cat.
No, it was. He had one of those cats that like you never see.
Your cat senses weren't tingling at all?
No, I just passed out. I was tired. I just went to bed, and I woke up in the morning. I couldn't open my eyes. Like, you need to take me to CVS to get some Benadryl right now. My eyes were like sealed with a like crusty.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Your eyes are so itchy.
like a white fluffy dog. Yeah, those crusties.
Yeah, and I remember meeting with Tommy the boss. I'm like, dude, my eyes are all out of whack as a cat's. He's like, you a drug addict?
Dude, what if you found
on Benadryl?
What if you found out later that they only hired you because they're like, this guy's like, he's ready to jump off a bridge. He was bawling his eyes out.
This guy's ready to party.
Yeah, one or the other.
You know what I look like? I look like Charlie Sheen in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
In the police station?
In the police station.
That's
what my eyes look like.
Yeah, I think it's just funny if that Tommy hired you. He's like, hey, this guy, if we don't hire him, I think he might end it all. Like, he clearly was sobbing in his car before this job interview. His eyes were puffy and tears were rolling down him, and I think he needs this. And you know what? Whatever. We're going to hire the guy. Yeah, I don't get that wild, but mine gets bad for sure. What, Carlie, we skipped over this, and you don't have to tell us if you don't want to. This is a open door, open glory hole policy here. Have you ever experienced any hemorrhoidal issues?
I was hoping that we would talk about hemorrhoids today. I'm not kidding. Okay. I've suffered from like self-diagnosed hemorrhoids where I will. How graphic do we get here?
There's no limit.
Okay, well, I don't want to take up the 15 minutes of Riz time. Should we save this for when Riz leaves?
No, you can get into some of it. We'll comment as we go.
If it's graphic enough, I'm just going to leave anyway.
Okay, well, there are times when I'll be doing my business and then I'll wipe and there's blood and I'm like, this isn't, you know, menstrual issues. And so I'm like, okay, this is coming from the
There's always a certain amount of blood.
This is coming from the beehole. What's happening? Also, it hurts.
Sorry, all that diarrhea.
Also that. I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. So I texted my nurse friend and I'm like, you're basically a doctor. What could this be? And she's like.
Did you preface the text with that? You're basically a doctor?
Yes.
Great.
And she's like an OBGYN nurse. And so I take all my medical questions to her.
So she does feet.
Because she's a podiatrist. And so, yeah, she's like, it might be hemorrhoids. And so I basically had her explain hemorrhoids to me. And I'm like, that can't be me. That's not me. I'm a dainty little girl.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, how do we get rid of these? Because my butthole hurts so bad. What's happening? And she's like, oh, we have to go and get them removed. I was like, how? And she explained to me that they will take a rubber band and essentially like snap them off.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day.
Like it's like a bulging, like.
Yeah, they treat your hemorrhoid like a Doberman's tail. Much.
I'm like, what? How inhumane is this? What is this? The Handmaid's Tale? What's happening? This is crazy. I just feel like I want to be put under for this procedure. Why are they using rubber bands?
Well,
why are they using office supplies to remove things from my body?
Very painful. Like it's a very painful procedure too.
Yeah, put me to sleep for this. I don't want to get the anesthesiologist in here.
Put me to sleep for a week.
Yeah. This sounds disgusting.
Did you have to get any surgery done, or did you just
No, I'm just living with it. I'm just living with the roids.
Yeah, dude, living with the roids, dude. That's my favorite Molly Hatchet song.
Yeah.
Living with roids.
Midwest Hemorrhoid Center. Don't suffer inside. I thought people were going to join in on that.
Yeah, I'm on the base. I'm on the base. I'm on the base.
Treatment centers. Don't suffer in silence.
Yeah. We didn't really kill that jingle, but look it up. It's true.
It is.
It's kind of a catchy tune, and I can kind of relate to that. Like, there's times that I don't know if I've ever had one or not.
You don't know if you're roiding out. You will know if you're roiding out.
Well, there's times that if you're shitting a whole bunch in one day, and you're having to use too much toilet paper, you're having to go through the process,
and there's blood on it.
Yeah, then there's times that I'm like, man, it's getting raw down there. It's feeling like something's wrong. And then I'm just like, I could go to the doctor or I could just wait it out.
And then you got to push them back in?
I didn't have to do that.
Oh, okay. I mean, never mind. Who does that?
You should probably go see somebody.
Maybe.
Don't strain. Don't be on the toilet too long.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of fiber.
Yeah.
Make sure you're hydrated.
You're learning stuff now, people. That's true. They say that sitting on the toilet for too long, which is counterproductive to this show, I'll be honest.
On the toilet.
I think if you're sitting on the toilet and you're watching a show about the toilets, it cancels each other out. But other than that, if you're on the toilet too long, I guess it's spreading your cheeks in a way that could possibly contribute to
They said over
hemorrhoidal
10
development.
minutes. Like if you are on the toilet over 10 minutes, you are at a high risk
Of roids?
of popping a hemorrhoid.
Could be.
I don't want that.
Is popping the hemorrhoid the same as getting it popped with a rubber band, or is popping the hemorrhoid when it's
I think that's
It's
what
saying-
I think
hi,
when it's
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's that way. Like, hi, I'm here. I'm a hemorrhoid.
I'm causing
Good
pain
to meet you.
to
Yeah.
my mom or dad?
I'm gonna be a pain in your ass for the next foreseeable future.
I just need to go to a doctor.
You should go to a doctor, yes.
Okay.
I think we have figured that out here today. If you're suffering in silence, don't. Go to Midwest Hemorrhoid Treatment Center. Is that what it's called?
Are they even still around?
I don't know, but if not, I bet
I'll
if
be
you
an
Google 'em-
ambassador.
yeah, you'll be the ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be good. I'm curious.
Hemorrhoid also, by the way, is a weird way to spell it.
I know it's one of those words I never spell right on the first try.
They should have done it in your spelling bee at the Rich Show Live, but
Oh yeah,
maybe next year.
they are. In fact, the closest one is a town and country location.
Yeah.
They closed at 3, Carlie, so they're on New Balance. They're right down the street.
There you
Thank
go.
God. I'll
Right
think
after
about
this
it.
show, we're going to drive Carlie down to get her hemorrhoids banded and let them
Snapped.
fall off
And
naturally the same way an umbilical cord will.
Hey, on that note, guys, I gotta go.
Oh, he usually doesn't tell us, so that's nice.
Well,
All
we
right.
have there's a guest today. So
Do you think I could save it like a placenta for like nutrients?
I mean, I'm sure there's an OnlyFans for that. I'm
That's fair.
not
Okay, bye. Bye, Riz.
recommending it. Bye, guys. Hey, have a good day, bud.
Miss you already.
Riz is gone, which means that is the end of a segment we like to call 15 Minutes with Riz. We'll be back in just a moment with the next segment, which I like to call the Annals of History, after a word from our sponsor, Midwest Hemorrhoid Treatment Center. Don't suffer in silence. All right, we're back. Thank you for sticking with us through that little commercial break. We got to pay the bills on this bathroom somehow. And now I would like to get into a segment that I like to call the Annals of History.
From the Annals of History.
Once again, we have to redo that voiceover. That is definitely not how it's pronounced, but the Annals of History, it will be today. And speaking of history, I don't know if this technically qualifies as history, we're about to talk about, Carlie, but I will tell you, I think it's going to go down in history. Have you heard the story of the lunch lady who's just got convicted for stealing chicken wings and is going to do 9 years in a federal prison?
I've seen the
headline?
The headline. I have.
Okay, so I'll give you a quick recap of the story, and also for the listeners out there who haven't heard it. A former employee of a school district in Illinois was sentenced to 9 years in prison for stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings from the food services. Okay, that's like 11,000 chicken wings, and now she has been, and it's a federal crime, so she is going to have to do day-for-day credit. And now Kansas City Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones is offering to pay for her stolen wings. All right, there's Chris. There's the cute little lunch lady up there. He's offering to pay so the 68-year-old Vera Liddell does not have to go to prison in Illinois. And I've been following this story, and here's something that's interesting. So the thing that happened with this lady, she has no record. She's a church-going woman. She's been a lunch lady for 20-some-odd years. She had a gambling problem. She got carried away during COVID. She was supposed to be delivering wings to families, and now she's looking at 9 years in a penitentiary. And Chris Jones wants to swoop in and save the day and write a check for $1.5 million to get this lady out of prison. Okay?
So she stole the chicken wings from the school she was working at?
She was working at a school, stole the wings
From the school.
from the school.
Why are they serving
Not
chicken
cool.
wings at a school? Isn't that a choking hazard?
I don't know. They were delivering them to people during COVID. That's
Okay.
a good point. Probably.
Yeah, that's
But, listen to that. You can hear that chatter in the
You
hallway.
sure
That's how you
can.
know
We have
we're
the-
live. The thing that I looked up, which is interesting, I was like, oh, well, this is just like a, to me at first, I was like, oh, this is just a toothless offer, like a gesture of goodwill, an empty platitude, if you will, of like, well, I'll pay it so she doesn't have to go. But it turns out there may actually be some truth to this. Apparently, you can, after being sentenced, when she was sentenced about 10 or 12 days ago, you have 30 days to file a motion for restitution, which means if you're being convicted of a crime of theft at any level, if you can pay back the money, they can approve for the money to be paid back in order for this woman to not have to do jail time. So there is a possibility, but the day that it happens, Chris Jones has to be standing there with a checkbook, cash on hand, ready to write that check. And my question is, do you think he'll go through with it? Huge NFL star, just signed a huge multi-million-dollar contract. I mean, he's got to do it, right?
Now that he said he is, and the public is holding him accountable for it.
I would think so. And you have it. And to give a little history on you, you've been around professional athletes, right?
I have.
Can you give us a little history of why you've been around professional athletes? A little bit about your background.
I was a dancer and a host for the NBA for the Memphis Grizzlies.
That's right.
I was a host for the St. Louis Blues.
The year they won the Stanley Cup. I like to think you were their good luck charm.
I also like to. They haven't been back to the playoffs since I hosted for them, but that is neither here nor there. I am also the host for the Battlehawks. So yes, many tall people.
Has been around many pro athletes in many sports. Now, do you get the idea?
A lot of money.
A lot of money. They're not hurting for money, right?
No.
So I'm going to keep an eye on this story, but what do you think? Do you think this is the right thing for Chris Jones? What she did obviously was wrong. You know, she took food out of people's mouths. She was selling it with no priors and things like that. I would imagine that he's looking at this like, hey, this seems disproportionately unfair. Ghislaine Maxwell is only doing 20 years for the most horrendous shit you can imagine. And you're going to give this lady 9 because she stole some chicken wings. Granted, it was $1.5 million worth, and it was from a school system. These are not good things. But do you think this is a noble thing that he's doing to get this woman out of prison?
I don't think that even matters anymore because he said he was going to do it. So if you publicly state that you're going to do that, I think you got to do it.
Yeah, I think he's got to do it too. And what I'm curious about is, will they let him? Is the money more important than punishing the lady? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you rather recoup $1.5 million and put the money back into Kitty for the state schools, or would you rather send this old lunch lady to jail where you have to pay to house her, you have to pay to feed her for the next 9 years of her life? You're losing more money. To me, it makes sense to let the restitution get paid and move on with our lives. What do you think of that?
Yeah. It'd be a baller move if he did what he said he's going to do, but then also give money to the school. Or do something with the school.
Agreed.
That would be something. And then everybody would be happy.
Yeah, I think that's the move overall.
Yeah.
He's got to do it. All right. Well, we're going to keep an eye on this story. Chris Jones, you heard it here from 2 people. One guy who played Division III football and someone who's been the in-game host for 3 different professional sports teams saying, you got to do it, man. You made the statement. Now you got to pony up the dough. And honestly, the Chiefs could use some good PR. We don't always get good stuff coming out of there.
Was she gambling the chicken wings?
I think she was selling them and using the money to cover gambling debts, but it would be very funny if she was getting in poker games where chicken wings were the ante.
This is what I'm confused about is how was she selling, like, was she eating the chicken wings or was she selling were these like a bartering situation? Like,
I don't know.
Who's just buying these rogue chicken wings from this woman?
Well, it was COVID. A lot of people had some money coming in from the government, so maybe they were buying wings on the sly, helping her out. Maybe the lady makes knockout wings. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Whatever it is, maybe you got some insight on it. Have you ever gotten a food allergy test? Have you had hemorrhoids? Have you had some sort of situation where you know something about this lady and her federal indictment and whether or not she was gambling with chicken wings? If you do, you can call us at 818-532-1420. That's 818-532-1420. We'll be taking calls here in a little bit. That's the hotline, baby. Let that Papa Squad hotline bling. And right now, while we're on the subject of hemorrhoids and we're on the subject of our a-holes, as we are in the bathroom.
We are.
I would like to give you, I went to Reddit, and this is an interesting thing that I found. I've told you before, you're very photogenic. You often post things on Instagram, and I'll say, I've known you for a long time. You're such a cool person. You're beautiful inside and out.
Are you talking to me?
I am talking to
Oh
you.
my God.
Yes, you're very photogenic. You take good photos. And I feel like a lot of photographers tap you for to do photos, to present their work, and you always look great and things like that. So I have an Am I the Asshole situation that has to do with photos from Reddit, and I want to read it to you, and I want to get your opinion about it. Does that sound okay to you?
Yes, read it to me.
Okay, I'm going to give you the bullet points. My friend is a painter. I've seen her work. It's beautiful. I asked her if she was willing to paint a portrait of me and my husband in our wedding outfits. I thought it would be a good year anniversary gift. I've seen her work. She can do realist painting of people. She asked for a reference for this. I gave her a few pictures and gave her $300 deposit. We agreed on $700 for the painting. She showed me a painting yesterday. My husband looked great. I looked completely different. In short, she sexualized me, and I find it gross. The painting, I have huge boobs. I really don't have any boobs. I'm an A cup due to my running. I'm assuming that means running and not diarrhea. My wedding dress is showing much more skin than the real picture. She even added a split in my dress to show off more leg. I don't look like that in my photos I gave her. I find it gross. I told her I will not be paying her. She needs to fix it, or she can keep it. This caused a huge argument. She thinks I'm a jerk for not paying and pointing out the stuff above. It's going around with my friends. Some think I'm being petty, and others are standing by me. I'm not sure. Am I the asshole? Carlie Lawrence, what do you think?
I would just kind of be, I don't think so. I'd be like, do you see the difference between these two? Do you not see that I don't have a slit in my dress? Do you not see that my tits are not large? These are glaring differences. Although I don't have a visual of the picture or the painting. But I think she has a point to be upset about that. I mean, I think her feelings are valid with that, because, I mean, with the painting, they probably wanted to hang that in their house. They probably, if they decide to have children, they probably wanted to show their children, and, they probably don't want to have their mother look sexualized.
Okay, that's a good point. I hadn't considered children in this.
Yeah, or even just people coming over, and even they don't want to have to explain the painting to people when they come over, and people see the painting and be like, does she think she looks like that? Like, I don't know. And that's how I would feel too, is if people came over to see that, I wouldn't want to have to explain, to be like, I don't think I look like that. We had this commissioned and this was their interpretation. I didn't, I want you to know. And I would feel like I would need to explain it to everybody that came over and saw it.
So you think she's justified, not the asshole? Would be your take on this overall? Okay. Now, you made some good points. I could see the children, it's about the children being like, Mama used to have big jugs, Daddy. What happened to Mama's jugs, Daddy? Well, those actually never existed. Yeah.
They were A cups because
I'm upset.
Because all that running she did.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I think about. Artistic license when it comes to painting. When you hire a painter to do a painting of you, you do kind of, or for you. If it doesn't necessarily have to be of you, it could be like, I'm commissioning you to do a painting for me. You do have to bend a little to artistic license. Like, I don't know how much.
Yeah.
As a victim of this, I can tell you. I can tell you that I've been victimized by this. I talk about this in my act. People often think that I'm making it up. My mother, for Christmas, gave me a painting of myself doing stand-up comedy. Go ahead and blow that up full screen so Carlie can see it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
This is.
It's not the greatest painting I've ever seen.
Yeah, there were some creative liberties taken there. This is true.
As you can see, I look very gaunt. It's in black and white. I look a lot like Uncle Fester, and I have one weird eye that's not looking straight at all, and I get it. I think that my blue eyes are maybe my best quality, and then that's a black and white photo. I kind of look, I'll be honest with you, I have a bit of a mongoloid look in it. I don't know what's going on. Granted, maybe I carry that look around every day, and I'm a little self-deluded, but I don't think it was a perfect match. My mom paid a lot of money for this painting. Now, I don't know that she's entitled to her money back. She sent a photo along. There's probably more questions to be asked of why you would give someone a photo of themselves without them asking for it for any reason. But, you know,
Who can
whatever.
be too sure, you know?
It's the thought that counts.
Sure is.
Even if you don't know what they're thinking. So for me, I kind of tried to go down that rabbit hole where I was like, you know, maybe you got to just let the artist
give you big tits.
Give you big tits. Like if you did a portrait of me and you gave me a big sweaty hog package, like down in the nether regions.
It's like, should you be thankful or?
I ain't saying nothing. I'm leaving it. In fact, that's going right above the mantle.
Yeah.
That's going to be the centerpiece of the home when you walk into my house. If there's a picture of me and my wife and she looks normal and they just, you know, they fudge the numbers a little bit.
And you've got a big lap hog.
Yeah. And they give me a little, you know, Hillshire Farm summer sausage down my leg. I'm probably not saying nothing about it.
And the children are just going to have to accept it.
And like children won't know. They're not going to, they don't need to worry about that. It would give my son some false hope, maybe.
Perhaps.
That could be problematic. I'm not going to lie about that. That could be problematic. But overall, it's a victimless crime. If they made you hotter, I don't know, maybe you don't have to display it. Maybe pay for it. Maybe offer to at least cover their supply. If it's a friend and you're trying to save the friendship, rather than tell them, hey, this is awful.
Pay them in chicken wings.
Yeah, pay them in chicken wings. I had a friend of mine painted Tina and I one time, my girlfriend Tina and I, and it looked like, or I think maybe it was supposed to be Johnny Cash and June Carter, and it literally looked like the Addams Family. And it was fine. I didn't say anything. We paid for it, and we just never hung it up, and that's totally fine. But I will tell you, Reddit agreed with you, Carlie, that she is not the asshole. Overall, overwhelmingly, the internet agreed 65% to 35% that she was not the asshole, that she should get the work she asked for and was paid for. So, Carlie Lawrence, your moral compass was right on today.
Sure is.
Even if your asshole is in horrible shape with all the hemorrhoids that are hanging off of it right now. So, good job, Carlie.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and take live calls and listen to messages. If you want to call in, 818-532-1420. That's 818-532-1420. Call in and talk to me and Carlie. Maybe you got a question for her. Maybe you got a question for us on something that we talked about. As long as it's interesting, don't call in and ask us what our favorite barbecue sauce is. Those questions suck. And plus, I've already answered it like 30 times. So, yeah, just give us an answer. And we'll be back right after this break from our sponsor, Midwest Hemorrhoid Treatment Center. Snap them off! Welcome back to the show. Thanks for listening to the sponsors' messages. And now it is time for a segment I like to call Tank Talk. Yeah, we're talking tanks and call me on the phone. We're talking tanks, talking shitty stuff. Oh, didn't expect that to come back that quickly. All right. We'll edit that out in post. All right, if you want to call in, the number is 818-532-1420. I'll keep my eyes peeled to see if we got anybody calling in. We had somebody on earlier. I guess I got tired of waiting, but then again, they probably literally in the toilet stall at work waiting to talk to me, and I let them wait for 35 minutes. So, my bad. Oh. Call in now, 818-532-1420. In the meanwhile, I'm going to listen to some messages that I had recorded because the hotline is open now. We just started doing this, Carlie, and I love it. The hotline's open 24/7, so people can call and leave me messages anytime, day or night. And boy, my fans don't let me down, Carlie. They call me at 4 o'clock in the morning, pissed drunk, leaving all sorts of encouraging messages, and I love it. Mm-hmm. We've all done that, right? We've all made the late night call where we're like, "Whoa, did I?" You ever woke up from drinking the night before and had to look at your phone and be like, "Who did I call?" And then you got to see how long they were, and you're like, damn, I talked to my mom for 4 minutes and 37 seconds. That could not have been good. Are you more responsible than that?
Well, my mom's dead, so no, I haven't done that.
Well, you didn't have to say that, but
I probably would have.
Okay. Have you ever called anyone alive? Anyone that I could have mentioned that's not dead?
I might have.
All right. Well.
Maybe someday. Maybe Midwest Hemorrhoid Treatment Center.
We'll see. Let's listen to this message and see if we can help this caller.
Hey, good morning. I'd like your opinion on something. How would you handle a coworker with extreme body odor? Sit next to him every day, 5 days a week. I would love to hear Lauren's opinion, Tina's opinion, and your opinion, Rafe. Have a great day.
Well, you're going to get me and Carlie's opinion. Thank you. You have a great day, too. Carlie, I'll open this up to you. How do you deal with a coworker who be stanking?
Oh, this is tough. A little boy thought I was learned this morning, so maybe my opinion means a little bit more than so. I suggest say, hey, you should take a bath tonight.
Okay.
Say,
You're going full bath.
Say, what are you having for dinner? Oh, or do you take night showers or do you take morning showers? Just talk about showering. Just talk about it, and then they'll think maybe I should take a shower.
Think?
Maybe have a little aromatherapy thing at your desk.
Yeah.
And then just put your nose right over it all day long, and then that's all you're going to be breathing in all day.
Okay, that's how you would deal with it.
Those are the first two things, and if those don't work, I'm gonna loop back around to some other ideas. What are your ideas?
I personally would get some of that fabric Febreze and spray them like a cat that's on the counter, and really be aggressive with it. Mm-hmm. You know, just be like, just bad. Get.
Another.
If they didn't take that hint,
we could bring back kind of an ASL challenge, but make up for a new cause. But instead of ice water, we fill it with like soapy water.
That's
and we
possible.
say, this is for a new cause.
And just keep challenging
This is
them.
for the hemorrhoid. This is for people with hemorrhoids.
That's right. Suffering in silence.
And and this is for social media, and we're all doing it as an office.
Yeah. I've actually had this happen. It's tough because you could go to HR, but that seems kind of like you're being a narc. And you know I hate narcs. Always have, always will.
And that's embarrassing for the coworker.
It is, but maybe I don't know what's more embarrassing, getting called out in person. It also depends how close you are with the person. But if you're working with someone 5 days a week, I'm going to assume you're semi-close to this person, that you've established some sort of relationship with the person. Problem is, you have the talk, they don't do something about it. Now you can't go to HR because then they know you're the narc. Mm-hmm. So it's risky business. I personally would just be like, hey, maybe ask them to go to lunch. Maybe ask them, which I know will suck, but it's like maybe go sit on a patio somewhere open air, obviously. You know, they may have a problem they don't know about. They may have gone nose blind to it. They may know about it and can't do anything about it. You don't ever know. You might have something going on under the sheets you don't know about, under the T-shirt. I would say just have a talk and be like, hey, I've noticed, I've heard other people talk about it. You're my friend, so I'm telling you this because I don't like that, and I want you to just be aware of it, and maybe we can do something about it. If there's something I can help, try to come at it from a loving and helpful way. And, if the person's defensive or not receptive to it, then I don't know. At least you're just back to square one. You got somebody stinky sitting next to you. But at least if you tell them, and be like, hey, your butt stinks, or you got BO. Can we do something about it? And then if they're not receptive to it, you can maybe go to HR and at least ask to be moved or something moved away from the person and let them know it's a problem.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like I do like just telling them. I don't know. I don't even know if I would say there's people talking about it, because then that might make them mad, being like, there's people. I don't like people talking. I would even just say like, hey, it's noticeable.
Okay. You
could leave out the fact that, everyone's gossiping about it or everybody's talking about it. You could leave that out. But yeah, I don't think there's any problem in telling.
You're right. I was being a fucking coward. I want to admit to that right now. Carlie called me out. I was being a coward and trying to put it on other people because I thought that would make it seem more like you were doing them a favor as a friend.
I don't think you smell everybody else.
She basically on my own show just said I was a fucking piece of shit coward, that I didn't have to do that. You just straight up tell them like a grown adult, hey, I smell you. You stink. Do something about it.
I don't think you stink. All these other people that we work with, they're all talking about it.
You're right.
Everybody else is talking about it. I'm not. But I'm just relaying the message to you.
No, you did the right thing. You were honest and open, and I was a big fucking pussy about it. And I'm sorry about that, America. Thank God Carlie Lawrence was here to set me straight.
Thank God.
Well, do any of those things. And if that all else fails, don't spray them like a cat. I stick to that. All right, let's listen to the next message together.
I shitted and farted.
Okay, all right.
That's fair.
I think that
That's
was.
fair.
Let me play that one again.
I shitted and farted.
Yeah, I think I got all the information off that one. I shitted and farted. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I get a lot of these. Sometimes I think people are on the toilet. They remember the number. That's 818-532-1420. Feel free to call in if you like right now and chat with us. I get a lot of those calls where people just kind of let me know what they're up to in the bathroom.
Hopefully they are on the toilet. I did. Oh, no. Do I say? Let's take another call.
You say what?
No, let's take another call.
Okay, well, it's my show. We'll take a call when I feel like it. But I want to know what you're. I want to know what you're hiding over there.
I pooped my pants at work. I think it was like 2 months ago or something.
Oh yeah, we're talking about that for sure. Come on, let's get that out in the open. That's nothing to be ashamed of. We've all been there. I almost did it today on the air. But how did it happen to you?
I was in my office and I was finishing up something real quick and I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, but let me just like save this real quick. Let me save it. I was like, okay, I really gotta go. So then I ran to the bathroom and I was like, thank God I made it to the bathroom in time. And I pulled my pants down. I was like, I didn't make it to when did this happen? Because because it was already there.
We talking Rorschach test situation? What do we have in our pants at this point? Is there? It was just like that. The amount of moisture that's like.
It was poop. It was poop.
Okay.
It was like a baby that pooped his pants, and I was like,
okay.
What? When did? I just don't know when it came out, and so I was just like, when is my? I just don't know what happened. So then I just had to like clean myself up. I had to throw my underwear away. I had to make a pair of underwear out of toilet paper, which now I'm a seamstress, I guess.
Wait,
and
you made a makeshift pair of underwear out of the low grade toilet paper we keep in this building?
I sure did.
That's actually.
I'm basically a fashion designer at this point. And so then I was like, well, now I feel like I have a aroma of shit coming off of me. So then I, washed myself up as much as possible. And I was like, I can't stay here. I can't stay here.
That was my next question. Was it enough to go home?
Yeah. Well, I went to, thank God there were two producers working here that day. So I went up to one of them and I was like, hey, not to be weird, but I just shit my pants and, can you cover me for a couple hours while I go home and bathe myself and then I'll come back? And they're like, just go home and I'll cover you for today. And I was like,
what if that was the stinky coworker you were talking to and they thought that was like your plan to try to get them be like, oh, she's pretending to shit herself to just get me to take a bath? Kill two birds with one stone. What'd you do with the undies? What'd we do with those? We hide those in the bottom of a trash can? Where'd those go? Down the toilet?
You can't. Well, I put them in the little trash can made for tampons.
All right, nice. Hid it under somewhere no one would ever look.
Wrapped them in a bunch of toilet paper. So somebody's like, what is this giant wad of toilet paper doing in the tampon trash can? And that's the whole thing. And then I pooped my pants like 3 days later in my home.
Okay.
I didn't need to say that, but it was just like it was a whole it was like a week. It was just like a week of me pooping myself, and I was like,
you had a very loose sphincter week.
I'm dying. I'm passing away. It was a week long, and I don't know. I live alone, and it's just me and my dog, and I don't have much family, and I was planning to die that week.
That's so sad, but also very vulnerable, and we appreciate you sharing. Thank you for sharing. You're setting a lot of people free out there who've been living in shame, and that is the theme of today's sponsor, Midwest Hemorrhoid Treatment Center. Don't suffer in silence and don't suffer in your shame.
I know I'm letting I've never told anybody a lot of these things. So
well, that's what happens here. This is
it feels like a confessional. I'm not Catholic.
It is. It was designed to feel that way, to feel as if we were sitting in a confessional, having an honest conversation while we're both sitting on the toilet. It creates an atmosphere of vulnerability. The most vulnerable. I have dreams all the time where I'm shitting, and it's I'll be shitting in like the middle of a baseball field or like a football stadium. With
your pants up or with
no, they're
like
down,
bare?
and I'm like, I'm never embarrassed about the pooping. It's like, it's when I get to the point where I have to wipe my ass.
What are you wiping with?
I don't know. It's always like, it's such an awkward position to be in where you're like, oh fuck, I got to stand up and like do the weird like half squat. Like, I don't know. There's something weirder about like no one can see what's going on under under the seal
undercarriage
that you've created on the toilet. But when you go to wipe, you have to share. You've gone topside. You've at least gone topside, and now they're going to see how you handle your business. And I don't know. I always get panicked in the dream around that point, which is interesting.
So if you're in a baseball field, are you gonna like scoot in the outfield like a dog?
I'm literally on the pitcher's mound on a toilet. Like they have installed a toilet.
So there's a toilet. You're not just squatting.
No, I'm sitting on a toilet. It's as if I sat down on my toilet, was transported through space and time into the Roman Colosseum, and there's 50,000 people watching me take a shit. And I think it has to do with like feeling vulnerable or feeling helpless, because that's a very vulnerable. The last place you want to be if the home invasion happens is your pants around your ankles on the toilet. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe.
That's not a place. We had a guy last week call in, and he said that he was taking a shit at work, and there was a tornado warning, and the fallout shelter was the men's bathroom, so the entire company came in while he was shitting. But I told you that. For one, I appreciate.
Wow.
I'm trying to be vulnerable with you, and I appreciate that you were vulnerable on the show, and that actually leads me in to our next message, because we don't have anybody calling in right now for phone calls. So if we don't have anybody calling in, because I get so paranoid about the wipe, let's listen to this message together.
Hey, Rafe. So I'm going to leave my name anonymous for reasons you'll see here shortly. But I've had a problem since I was potty trained. I was trained in such a way, so when I'm taking a dookie, I wipe back to front. Now, you seem to be the authority on all things wiping, and I just wanted to ask what your suggestion would be. Like, do I keep wiping the way I am, because it's what I've done for 25 years now? Or do I need to start training another way? I would appreciate any and all feedback you have, because, I hear the front mud flat just isn't a way to get the ladies. Have a good day.
Is he? No, this is rage bait.
No. You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows. Well, because he knows it's wrong.
Well, you can know something's wrong, still love it. You know what I mean? I think there is a segment of, and we've had anonymous people email in this kind of stuff on the Riz show before, so I do think there's a segment of the population that this is their methodology, because how they were taught. It's the same thing of, do you fold or do you bunch? Are you a buncher or a folder? I didn't know bunchers existed. I pull toilet paper down, I fold it on top of itself, and I use it. I make like a little wall between my hand and my asshole, and then I wipe my ass in that way. I find out half of the show I'm on are just wadding it up in a ball and jamming it up in there.
That's maniacal.
So you're not a wadder?
No.
See? And when
I'm
you're
not an animal.
Exactly. And when you're a folder, you don't even know these water people exist. And their argument was, well, because when you wad it, it has all these rough edges. It actually gets particles out of there better. And I'm like, silence, you Philistines. I can't hear no more
What kind of
this.
science is that?
I think it's called shit science. It's called bunk science. It is called doo-doo science, which is what they were conducting. So I do think there is a segment of the population who is indeed wiping back to front. Now, how do we address? Let's take it at face value, because you're on the number 2 show. I assume no one's trolling me. I assume no one's rage baiting me, because I don't do that to people, and I think the best of people. So, if this guy's serious, what advice do you have for him, Carlie?
Check for worms.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody else that you do that. Does it affect, like, also circumcision or not? Like, if he's not, I don't know.
Oh, good Lord, I hope he's not taking those biggest swipes.
Does he, I mean, does it?
Could you
if he's
imagine
going,
wiping your ass all the way through your balls, down the shaft of your penis, into your uncircumcised foreskin?
I don't know.
That would be
this
insane.
is where, this is what I don't know what I don't know, okay? So,
You're
like,
right.
how far is he going? Like, where's he taking it to? If he's going back to front, how far front are you going? You got to make sure you don't go too far front so you're not dragging your poop to places where it could cause an infection.
Yeah, I'm assuming that his balls are serving as some sort of stopping point, as some sort of airbags for the wipe. But even then, you're bringing stuff across the bridge into Funtown.
Yeah, and that bridge, that's a do not cross bridge, okay?
Now, I'll admit this. We've all had a day. Listen, pal, I'm going to come over to your side a little bit because I don't want you to feel attacked here.
I know, I'm attacking.
You're not. Okay. I'm just saying, like, I think he was anonymous for a reason. I think the world will attack back the front wipers.
Because he knows he's wrong. That's why he doesn't want to give his name.
That's right.
I know.
That's right. We all know that.
All right.
And I think that we've all had the flu, a day where we could, we're not feeling good. Maybe we're like, you know what, this one time, I'm just going to reach down in between my legs, and I'm going to put. Now, when you do that, I recommend you do the push method, where you push it. You're pushing from the front to the back, and you're just like, I'm just dabbing. I got the flu. I don't feel good. Everything's liquid. Cats are sleeping with dogs. My life is not good right now. You know what? You threw a knuckleball. You just can't do that all the time, because over time, you're doing damage. You got to be dragging so much of the smell across town to the other side of the tracks that, now the whole town smells like a garbage dump.
It does. Just get a bidet, Anonymous.
Yeah, maybe that's the move. Honestly, that's probably the best. I don't know if you can retrain your wipe. You sounded like a grown person.
He did. It sounded more elderly. He sounded like he is old enough to know better.
Well, everyone's old enough to know better, really, but he may have been trained that way. So here's what I will say. You probably are past the point of retraining. Can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? You're not going to be comfortable with an around the back. If you've been going right, dribbling your whole life.
Yeah, if you've been pitching right-handed, you can't train yourself to pitch.
No.
Pitching overhand, you can't train yourself to pitch underhand.
No,
you just can't.
You need a pitching machine.
Yep.
So I'm with Carlie. Get a bidet. Never tell anyone that story again. Wash yourself. Scrub down there. Get a pumice stone and scrub the taint.
Yep.
And hopefully you can get years of.
Honestly, just go through a car wash.
You could do that, yeah.
Taint first.
You could do that.
Just to do a hard reset.
Yeah, just get on a moped and take a moped through a car wash lead with your taint and let those little scrubbers get in there. And then,
in the crevices.
Yeah, and never tell that story to anyone ever again.
They have bidets on Amazon for $20, Rafe.
Yeah, $20, man. $20, and you can never live in this shame again.
Yeah. And the ladies, you're saying this is a ladies. You're like, the ladies don't want to touch me or smell me or look at me or.
Yeah, this would be more problematic for a lady because that's an open runway. You know what I mean? I don't know how. You got no stopper. You're going straight through the labia, dude. You're like it's like a skater. Like you're wiping your butt with a piece of toilet paper that's like Tony Hawk doing a rail slide down somebody's labia majora.
That's what I was going to say.
Nobody wants that.
No.
That's not good for anybody.
I don't want that.
You don't want that. So we got to, if the ladies, you don't want that from your lady, don't be doing it to her or him. I don't know what you're into. Either way, keep your balls clean. That's the point of that story. Get a bidet. And that is settled. I have rendered my judgment. Carlie has rendered hers. And that concludes Tank Talks for the day. Please be patient. I'll come back and wrap this thing up after word from our sponsor, Midwest Hemorrhoid Treatment Center. Do not suffer in silence. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening or watching the number 2 show, whether you're watching on YouTube or Megaphone or you're listening on Spotify or Apple iTunes. We covered a lot of cool stuff today. I want to thank my guest, Carlie Lawrence, everybody, and clap it up for her. I don't have a clap. Wait, we do have one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. Clap it up for Carlie. Thanks for being a guest today and hanging out with me on the number 2 show. And if you guys had fun hanging out with us and you enjoy the show, I know this is hacky, but it is the way it is. Like and subscribe, share it with other people, and if you can, go on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen, give it 5 stars, give me a positive review so other people can find the podcast. It really does help when you got something new out in the world and you're trying to grow it. And it's a work in progress. We're all having fun. I hope you had fun listening. I appreciate it. And until next time, please, as we learned today, always wipe front to back. See you next time on the number 2 show. I'm your host, Rafe Williams. This is Carlie Lawrence. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.